because I gotta mute the TV once we go live. I mean the video.
Oh, that's for me now. Oh, wait.
1 second. Woo. It's already starting. We are now live on YouTube.
Woo! We are tubing.
Craze Boogie is here, live from Sue's Rendezvous. Jaylah is here, live from the Unicorn Den. Clarence is in the moon. And Treese is here, live and direct from the studio. Justin Treese. Benny Banks will be here whenever he wants to.
Because that's what Benny does, and he's apparently making now.
That's just how Benny operates. He's
just doing a lot.
He got it in his contract that he can come on the show whenever he wants. And
when I grow up, I want to be like Benny. He just shows up shirtless whenever he wants.
Whenever he wants. Wild style. Benny's a wild boy. Everybody knows it.
Show.
You guys got any shout outs you want to give out right now, or congrats or happy birthdays right now?
Man, not to be on some bullshit, but shout out to everybody that's out there working, bro. That shit's crazy out there. I'm glad that I don't have to be outside. But big up.
Shout out to you, because you out there.
Yeah, where are you at right now? Where are you at?
No. He's safely in Sue's Rendezvous. He decided to take lockdown completely there.
I've been here for 35 days, man.
Smelling the couches and the poles.
You know what I'm saying? They got no shit down.
Yo.
I actually want to give a shout out to everybody who has COVID. I've gotten a few friends actually hit me up that they have COVID, them and their families have it, and that they're just trying to survive and stay positive and stay home and safe because they can't get really any treatment because they don't have a lot of symptoms, but they're still scared. So shout out to everybody who actually has COVID and are either getting out of it and surviving. I know a few friends who have survived it as well. I also know a few friends that are dealing with it right now. I have a few friends that unfortunately have had family members pass. So anybody who's directly dealing with COVID, everybody on the front lines, doctors, medical workers, grocery stores, UPS, all the delivery services.
Delivery services, yes.
Whether it's food, alcohol, necessities, anything. Thank you guys for everything, and stay strong.
And this just in, I'm getting reports that there is a sign that Benny Banks will be showing up today. So,
well, why? Because Benny, it says it on our screen now.
He got his juice. He's ready.
It's breaking live that he's gonna be here. So yes, I'll second.
Hey, Benny's here.
It's a full house tonight. Benny Banks is here. The shirt is back though. I don't know.
What happened? Your OnlyFans page got oversaturated because of the no shirt last week?
Or did it crash because too many people were trying to get
right
on?
Now, he's not on the clock. He's not on the clock for his own.
Yeah, I'm not on the clock. I don't want to give no freebies.
That
was only the first time. The first day. No more videos. No more.
Oh, it was a thirst trap. That's all you were doing? A thirst trap for the first time? One deal, one time only?
Yeah. Taste,
I was filming my foot thing, my foot video for later. So.
Oh, that's what it was.
The thing is that last time when we interviewed Chickla on Thursdays is Benny's day to do his foot show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. Is there a special for Benny's OnlyFans on Thursday?
Nah, that's the.
Sorry, can't.
Full price?
Specials. No more freebies.
Let's talk about what we're talking about.
Benny said everybody got their stimulus check. Forget y'all. No freebies.
Yo.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about what we're talking about before we went live, man. So we're talking about celebrity crushes.
Okay.
Right? And
obviously, it all started with Jaylah's obsession with The Rock.
The Rock.
Shout out to Terramana. I finally got my hands on the first bottle of Terramana in New York. I'm so excited. It's the closest thing to tasting The Rock, guys.
Ooh.
Salud.
Yo,
Even though it's
I want to
cultural,
taste it, bro.
even though it's cultural, no, it's all good. It's all love for love.
I smell
He's not.
a hater.
He's not from Jalisco, but you know, it's all good.
So Craze's answer was who? Celebrity crush?
You know, I'm gonna stick to my guns. You know, I think Ashanti. I'm gonna split it like similar to what you did when we were doing this shit. I'm gonna split mine between Rihanna on one side and Ashanti on the other side. I feel like they're the best.
We're not allowed to overstep boundaries. So you staying with Ashanti because Benny called Rihanna first. I'm sorry. If I can't call J-Lo, you can't call Rihanna. That's not fair.
All right, look, we'll compromise, and I'll say that the Rihanna that I'm talking about is like the post. You know, when she put on a little weight, Rihanna, not like the skinny
Right
Rihanna.
now.
Oh, like post Good Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah, like pre-Rihanna. I mean, post Rihanna, and
You're
then
talking about Umbrella Rihanna. Ella.
No. I think that's who.
A little bit more further than that.
Yeah, I'm talking about like post Fenty Rihanna, weed smoking in Barbados. You know, heavier.
Oh, she was getting that good dick.
She's eating good. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's a
He
little
was
heavy.
definitely eating
Rihanna
good.
definitely is gonna be on our podcast now. So, but you also had to pick a male celebrity, Craze, and who was your answer there?
You know, I'm gonna say. I was gonna say Idris Elba, and then so I'm gonna change my answer. You know, I'm gonna go the other way with this shit, bro. I'm gonna say Ryan Reynolds, man. He's a charming guy.
And he's funny.
No,
Like
I
he's
feel
corny funny, but I like that.
that's why one of my questions was whether we were talking about like marriage or like the fuck. Because if it
We're
was
not
that,
playing like we're not killing. What's that called? Like marry, kill, fuck. Like we're not playing that. We're just asking for hall passes right now.
I think I would like to be married to somebody like Ryan Reynolds. He looks like he has a good credit score. He's really funny. He's
Crazy.
funny. I mean,
You
And
thought
if
about
all
this.
fails, we could just make him dress up like Deadpool and make us laugh.
that's what I'm saying. He's funny.
Now that Benny's here,
Idris Elba, you know, he's a sexy dude. That's
so
why I want.
I said A-Rod, Idris Elba, and Leo DiCaprio. That's
And then who were your two girls?
and it was J-Lo and Salma Hayek. That's
So
what.
for my boys are obviously The Rock, number one, God and Glory. And Nicki Jam is my number two. And then for girls, because you guys already took Rihanna and J-Lo, who are obviously the goddesses of all gods, I'm gonna go with Shay Mitchell from Pretty Little Liars because she is.
Still don't know who that is, but okay.
She's gorgeous.
That's my girl. I love her, man.
Shay Mitchell will change your life because she has personality, body, face. Like she is just everything.
So Benny, give me your guy and your female guy and female crush.
I have to choose a dude that I have a crush on.
You know you have a crush on one celebrity, dude. There has to be one.
And you can't pick yourself.
It could be somebody you admire, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Probably Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, I see.
If I had to bone a dude, probably the
I think Enrique is about to join us right now.
Damn, I'm really disappointed that none of you guys had like Latino male crushes. Like it's all like white guys. It's really disappointing.
I mean, Mark Anthony would. I said A-Rod. Hey, joining us live from the farm is Torres from Loud City Farms. He's still working out the technical difficulties. So
we'll give him time. We're in a serious debate about what celebrities we would join in our fun times.
His audio is connecting now. Oh, can't hear him. It's still off.
Your mic.
Your mic. There it goes. Speak up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect.
All the way live from the farm is my man Torres from Loud City Farm. Welcome to the show, my brother. The main question we asked all the co-hosts is, who's your celebrity, female and male crush? You know, Benny was in the middle of saying Leonardo DiCaprio and somebody else.
Rihanna, bro.
What?
Rihanna.
Oh,
Rihanna.
Rihanna or Benny?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to say J-Lo like every other guy, I guess. I don't know, man.
He don't think about that shit.
J-Lo?
So, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I would say J-Lo, you know, gotta keep it old school.
Like if I met J-Lo, I feel like there's like a 50% chance I could hook up with her. She
That's
likes
true.
like broke dudes that are kind of small.
Damn.
Like I can dance too. I can dance. So that's her type.
Dancers, you're right. Man, you gotta take a couple salsa. That's it.
So
Oh, yeah.
shout out to Enrique for joining us.
Yeah,
Our
shit.
first question is,
Question,
who is Torrez and what is Loud City Farms?
Torrez is Cuban American raised in Queens. Decided to come out here into Oregon to create LCF with my team, which by the way, we have 4 people in the team. Shout out to my team. But yeah, that's definitely me. We were just we decided to come up with LCF as after we came out here to do like more like medical. You know, in the beginning we were not really like thinking of going all the way rec and stuff like that. We were thinking just doing more like medical. We started with the whole medical stuff like that, and then from there, my wife Susie, which is also one of the partners here.
Shout out to Susie.
Shout out to Susie, Mama Suze. So you already know. And then she had a friend out here that was already established recreation, and she started talking to her about it. Then we started getting the whole into like getting the whole application for the property, since it was just it was a quick thing just to see if you're approved, if your property is approved to even do it. So normally every property that has a rec grow is more like commercial, so more of a commercial property. We are more in a residential area, which it kind of works out on a benefit. But we're more in a residential area, so it was a little tougher for us for the reason being that, the whole county and the whole OLCC is the one that gives you the license to even be able to grow, anywhere. So the OLCC and the county 3 years ago were not really meeting eye to eye with the whole thing. So the OLCC wanted one thing, the county wanted another thing. So it was very tricky for me to even go about it. Like we were in the middle of the whole construction. We're like 100 grand in, and they're sending me letters saying that I can't do it no more or something like that. I was like, what the hell? So yeah, we had to go back to the county and fight it. It was a crazy ride, man. It was crazy.
Man.
Yo,
Definitely.
it touches on some of the stuff, some other stuff that we want to talk to you about too, which is like the process and like why you got into it. What my main question was like, why did you get into the cannabis business in the first place? You mentioned like medical, that you wanted to get into medical. What was the like kind of your motivation for it?
My motive. Well, I mean, I've been smoking since I was like 14. I started hustling in the street when I was 14. The whole little bags and stuff like that, just so I could smoke for free. Like most of us do. And I don't know, man. I just got into the whole bud. I'm one of those people that like to smoke for the taste, for the smell, just not to get high. I really get into the whole bud. Yeah. I like to even inspect the bud before I even smoke it, smell it. I'm all into that. So, I don't know. I just got curious of how, you can grow such a, powerful little thing, So I started growing in Queens. I started growing in my apartment. I had like a small little grow in the closet, just, nothing big, just, just to experiment. And I wasn't successful my first batch. It was horrible. It wasn't even smokable. That shit smells so bad. It tastes like shit. But then, my second, then the third, I just kept going at it. My electricity bill was skyrocket, but it was like an expensive hobby. It was just an expensive hobby, what I was doing. And, the wife was cool with it. So I was like, let me rock with it.
That's an important. having people that are supportive of like that obsession that you got, that love.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Especially being illegal out there, you know. So wifey was definitely had my back since day one, and she's been, like I said, she's part of the team. If it wasn't for her, most of this wouldn't happen either, you know. So every team player has put their part to make LCF happen, you know.
What was that transition to go from saying?
By the way, I'm gonna smoke a little with Craze. I'm gonna smoke, but I'm gonna smoke the good stuff.
What was that
the
transition from going to doing it in your closet as a hobby, like you said, as an expensive hobby, to kind of making that big leap of faith? Because at the end of the day, whether it's legal in some states, it's still federally illegal, I guess you could say. So you're still kind of gambling. How did you make that transition?
It was a little crazy because, like I said, when I came over here, I was not thinking of doing the whole recreational thing. I was thinking of more doing it, like more medical or just black market, just to grow. But it was a big transition with the whole weather, because over here I did more of the outdoor. Over there I was doing more of the indoor. So over there in New York, it's like you're in an apartment. There's no bugs. There's no nothing, So when I came out here, it was a big surprise. I ran into a lot of problems, like, bugs, too much humidity, so you get mold. It's things that I was not used to in New York. So I met a lot of challenges over here, a lot of money that I spend, electricity and all that, just trying to learn and adjust to this over here, because it was completely different.
So take us Cannabis 101. So if I have like a little farm and I want to do a little outdoor grow, what are some basics you might need to start a nice little, just one plant, let's say, for example?
Like if I wanted to grow a plant.
You always need a good seed or a good clone that comes from a reputable mother. And it all depends on the food that you use. Basically, you have your feeding schedule. Basically, I'm more of a salt guy. Salts are more like, there's bottles of liquids, and then there's salts, which is more like a powdered of nutrients that you could use, that you dissolve in water yourself. So I'm more of a salt guy. I use more salts than, I started with the whole bottle, but it's just more expensive. But if you want to just start, like as a newbie, I would suggest you start with bottles that are already, a little more made already for you and stuff like that. But it depends. You just good soil, good temperature outside. If you can't do it outside, you want to do it indoor, you can always get a good light, and high pressure sodium light, and you could do your own grow, man. It's difficult if you want to get technical, but if you just want to do something simple, anybody could do it.
Praise Boogie.
Yo, man, this shit blows my mind, because it's something that, like, I was out on the West Coast for a little bit, and I really didn't get into it. I only knew one person that was kind of plugged into the network of like growing and stuff like that. And, I must say he's a character. Shout out to my man, Danny. He's an elusive creature. So I wasn't really able to kind of pin it down questions like that, But he definitely put me onto some of the basics that you're talking about. But just hearing you kind of talk about all the big project type grows, that's a different world. You feel me? Like, that's a completely different animal. And like, for me, like, I always wonder what like that, like, what's their like philosophy on cannabis? You feel me? Like, what is your idea behind philosophy behind cannabis, and when it comes to like recreation versus medical? Like, do you see it more as like some shit like you mentioned you fell in love with it, so it's something for you more personal, but think about like the medical aspect.
I like the whole recreational, because I don't use it for medical. I use it, recreationally. So if I'm a grower, I guess I grow it for people like me. But I like recreational. The reason being that also I like the whole large scale grow. You know, like I like growing in large portions like that. You know, usually we grow more personal or more medical is you grow 6 plants per patient, and it's more usually smaller grows. I guess you could say I got used to, you know, the bigger grows, and I don't know, I just like having a whole bunch of strains and a whole bunch of plants and seeing, you know, at the end of the day when I go to harvest, you know, you just have a bunch of strains to, you know, to try out and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I like the whole recreational better.
What was your first strain? That the one you said that you fucked up. What was that first strain?
Blue Dragon. That shit was like 3 years ago, man, when I barely got here. I spent so much money, like $4,000 electricity just to ruin it.
Wow.
Now
Yeah.
That hurts just to hear that. That really hurts.
I'm telling you, people pay for college. This is my school. You know, I pay electric.
So for me, like, one of my questions is obviously, you know, you told us that your girl, your partner in crime, she supports this. She supported it from day one. But, you know,
Yep.
we come from a more cultural background, to say the least. So for that being said, most of our families are either heavily involved or not involved at all. It's like very extremish. So how was your family and her family? Because realistically, you guys are partners now. And as much as you want to say it's just you two, at the end of the day, some way, shape, or form, your families are some way, shape involved. So how have they been involved culturally, traditionally, in background-ish with this? Because now I know there's a thin line between now we're making money and this is a business, and what are you doing with drugs? So, I mean, like, there's a weird dynamic in that. How does that work for you guys?
Well, it's funny you say that because my mom is one of the partners.
So there you go.
My mom is involved with the farm. Yeah, she's one of the partners. She's one of the investors. She came in and she helped me out. Shout out to my moms.
Shout out to your mom, because that's a lot. That's big. That's
Yeah.
actually really, really big. I know there's so many people in our culture that fight that, you know, we have to explain to our parents that this is for medical purposes, or that's for, you know, it's healthy, or it's not what they think it is. So that's a really big deal to see somebody like your mom not only support you, but be an investor.
Yes. Well, you know, she knew I always smoked since young. You know, I used to bother her, but, you know, after a while, you know, she just got used to it. And, you know, since I've always been in the business, you know, since young, in Queens, she knew what I was doing. And, she got, I guess, used to it. And, you know, she accepted it after a while. You know, she couldn't fight it. So, you know, the opportunity came where this, you know, over here in the West Coast, was opening up doors, which I did not want to go to Cali.
The
Because,
green.
you know, everybody was Cali, everybody was like, just Cali was the spot. And I, you know, when I heard about Oregon, I'm like, man, you know, I like it because it's more quiet. It's a little more, it's not so many cops, I guess you could say. So I brought my mom on one of the trips over here just so she could check it out. And she agreed with it. And we're here 3 years later.
Wow.
It's a family-run business. Now, take me through the steps. You mentioned clones. There's some people who might not know what that means when you're cloning from a mommy strain. What's that like?
All right, that's when you have one room where you keep your mothers. Basically, you can have a plan for like 3 years if you want to keep that. Let's say you like that pheno very good.
Yeah.
Not a big one.
And you want to keep that strain alive, you keep a room just for the moms, which is basically when you want to flower, you keep the light on 12 hours on and 12 hours on, off and on, 12 hours and 12 hours. When you have a mom and when you're vegging, you keep it 18 hours on and 6 hours off. That's when you want to continue it for it to, you know, to continue growing. So in the moms, you keep it in the vegging room. which is always growing. And as it grows, there's small little plants that grow. You know, it's like it's called I'm forgetting the word that it's called right now. Well, it's like little plants that come out on each little. It's a node. That's what it's called. A node. I'm sorry. It's a node. So every node grows a little plant. So you could actually cut that, dip it into a rooting gel, and put it into like straight dirt, or you could put it into an oasis cube, and you maintain it, in a dome with a lot of humidity, and 2 weeks later you have a brand new plant with root. So basically that's a clone. So you have your moms in the mommy room. You could take out of one mom, it depends how big she is, you could take out from 20 to 50 clones, depending on how big the mom is.
So
I
what's the
know
difference
this is a
between?
silly question. Sorry,
Right.
Rick, but this is just a really silly question. Do you consider yourself a farmer now?
I consider myself a grower.
You could be a farmer's market in the West Coast. You're doing plants, you're digging, you're dirting, you're lighting, you're feeding, like you talking to your babies. Like, are you technically like, what do you like?
Do you talk to them? You have to talk to them, right? You talk to the plants?
You thinking about buying any cows or pigs?
I don't talk to them. I really don't. What I do is while I'm feeding them and stuff like that, I play music. So I guess you could say they hear music.
But that's kind of like talking. Some people talk to their plants. Some people play music for their plants. Like, but like, what do you consider yourself in this realm?
This nigga sound like a scientist to me.
Do you cry when one of your plants die?
Cannabis grower.
Cannabis grower.
That's what I consider myself.
Benny has two questions. Go ahead.
I would consider a farmer more like somebody that grows overall vegetables and fruits, or doing other farm stuff. I just grow weed, so I'm more of a
Do you ever wear overalls while you're planting your weed?
I'm not wearing no overalls, Benny.
How'd you celebrate your 420?
Yo,
Happy belated 420, by the way. Benny said, how did you celebrate 420?
Oh man, I just smoked a lot of weed. I actually have like so many varieties of strains. This is my personal stash. My personal stash is like this.
If you can't see it, there's a big teardrop coming down my eyes. Right there. That tear duct right there.
This is the personal stash that I usually smoke out of.
My God.
So you see, like I have Mendel Breath.
oh my God.
Some Wowzer.
Guys, I think I found where I want to go shoot next season's episode of Travel.
So actually,
Bro,
You guys are more than welcome to come to the farm whenever you guys want.
actually, we want to do something in the farm. So we got to do it in the fall, though. Hopefully this Corona thing is gone by then.
oh my-
You mentioned indoor and outdoor. Give us the difference between indoor and outdoor, and what, in your personal opinion, is better. I'll be right back. I got to get a...
All right. Indoor and outdoor. Outdoor, I would say it's a little easier. Outdoor is more, it's sun grown, so you don't have to worry about no electricity or your breaker going off, because now your lights are, off, and if the lights, the lights create so much heat indoor that you need, an AC, you need certain fans, it's a lot that you basically have to mimic Mother Nature indoor. So, whenever you're mimicking Mother Nature, that's like, it's almost impossible. You could get close to it, but it's impossible,
Right.
Outdoor is more like you're just basically feeding it and just making sure you're not running into any problems, like any type of pest that could ruin the plant. But I would say indoor obviously is way better quality. Indoor is where it's at, you know what I mean? It's more taken care of. It's not exposed to so much wind, sunburn, dust. I mean, bugs, I'm not gonna say it's not exposed, because bugs always creep up in there, but definitely indoors where the quality is at, and in price difference is A big difference. Even I would say compared from outdoor to indoor, the pricing will probably be like triple.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part of, obviously, like you said, you're raised out here in New York and Queens. Queens is day and night from Oregon, obviously. I mean, it's day and night for me, and I grew up in Florida, and Florida is still very like, I get a balance, but like Oregon and Queens is like way two different things. What is one thing you miss about New York and Queens? And what has been your favorite adjustment through the process?
I would say my favorite adjustment will be the views and the quietness of the whole, because I'm in the woods. I'm like, everything around me is woods. I don't see my neighbors. I'm in the middle. My farm is 5 acres, so I don't see nobody to pick up my mail. I had to pick up my mail like 2 blocks away. So I'm like in the sticks. So I like that. I like the fact that it's very quiet, it's very peaceful. But then again, I'm from Queens, you know, like I'm used to waking up at 3 in the morning with the ambulance, and you know what I mean, the fire trucks passing by. You know, I say you kind of like what you're used to compared to. Man, it's kind of hard, man. I got both. I got the best of both worlds, man. Just put it that way. I got the peacefulness, and then I got the craziness, because I still go to New York a lot. I still got my apartment out there. I got my family out there. I got my mom, my sister. So I'm always in New York a lot, if anything, once a month at least. So, you know, I still get, it hasn't been so drastic for me, because I still get both worlds.
I was gonna
So
say, you haven't had any like get out moments where it's like, oh no, somebody's coming out the woods, or like, you know, like you never had some scary,
yeah, I mean,
like, super high, just be like, oh no, I hear things.
Today he will.
I mean, you hear stories about, like, you know, bobcats and, you know, mountain lions and bears and all that, but you know, like I've been here 3 years in my property, and I mean, I do have 6 dogs, so I guess that's one of the things that maybe why the animals really don't approach over here. But we do get deers, we get turkeys, we get, you know, stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing crazy, you know, a lot of squirrels, like just like New York, you know, but it's nothing crazy like that. Like I haven't seen a bear or anything like that. Like I have to be afraid. No, I haven't seen that yet.
So
Hopefully
hopefully
I don't.
what are the benefits of some cannabis products? Because it is recreational and medicinal. And there's a strong movement to make it more legal medicinal wise, which it is in a lot of states. What are some of the benefits that you know of?
You got right now CBD, which is even legal in New York, which I'm even trying to get Loud City Farms a line for CBD. Soon we'll come up with that, and eventually even be in New York. You know, I would like to be in New York. My whole goal is to even be out in the East Coast, to come out with Loud City Farms out there. But definitely, if you're looking for more like on the medical, you know, side, like if you're looking for more like to concentrate on in pains and, you know, like certain sicknesses that you might have and you're battling, I would say lean more towards the CBD. This is just, you know, it gets you high. So if you have a problem with getting high, a lot of people, I would say my mother, she takes, you know, certain medications that I've been trying to get her out of, and I've been trying to, you know, get her to the whole, you know, weed stuff and the whole cannabis side, and it just it doesn't go good for her. She doesn't like being high. She gets all paranoid, you know. So, you know, if you're more into that, you know, like if you want to use it more for like medical, for pains, for joints, your back pains, if you're battling cancer, you know, you want to make it a little bit easier for you, I would definitely, you know, say go more towards the CBD side.
Is there, I know a few friends of mine that have that issue. And I think that when I started, I think that was going to be one of my issues, the paranoia and stuff like that. Are there, because I know they're doing a lot of like research with what it is, like medicinal and recreational and kind of the effects and all that. Is there anything on that causes that paranoia? Is it just a certain strain? Is it just the person? Is it like, what triggers that?
It's, from my experience, it's more of the person. If you're not used to smoking, I mean, let's say like me, I'm an everyday smoker. I can smoke, you know, a whole blunt, you know, to myself, like how I'm doing right now, and I won't have no problem. You know, I'll be high, I'll be good. But then you got somebody that doesn't smoke every day or smokes once in a blue and takes a little too much, you know, yeah, you're gonna run into problems. You're gonna have that person's gonna be going, it's gonna be flying, it's not gonna be feeling normal, like, you know, itself. So yeah, you know, you get paranoid. It's like anything else, you know.
So people think that the weed business is an easy business. Walk me through one of your regular work days for you on the farm.
Well, I'm gonna tell everybody right now, whoever thinks that they're gonna come over here, like how I did, I had the same mentality. Oh, I'm gonna go away and become a millionaire, but I'm gonna flip this up quick. It's not like that. It's a lot of work. It's hard work. It's a lot of dedication. You know, a lot of people sometimes get lazy to do stuff. You can't get lazy here because if you don't feed it on time or you don't give it what it needs when it needs it, it won't cooperate with you. So you have to give basically your all in. You know, I have to do every single day in the morning and every single day at night. I gotta feed my plants. So if I miss one day, that's stress to my plants.
So what do you do when you go on like vacation, when you come see your family in New York, or when you want to take 2 weeks off?
I have my workers here, so you know, like they stay on the schedule and stuff like that. You know, I make sure that I let them know what's, you know, needed to, you know, to be and you know, because usually I'm the one that takes care of, you know, certain things. So if I'm not gonna be here those 3 or 4 days or a week, I make sure that somebody's gonna take care of my you can say my chores, I guess. So you know, I always make sure everything's on point.
What's been the hardest thing about growing? The hardest challenge you've had going from, you know, Queens?
Hardest challenge, I will have to say, the drying and the curing process. Because, yeah, as you may know, that when you grow weed, you may be growing your weed for, let's say, 1 month in the veggie room, right? So that's when you have your lights on 18 hours and you have them off 6 hours. You know, you grow it for 1 month, it's looking beautiful. It's like a foot, you know, a foot high. So now it's ready to go to, you know, to put it into flower mode. So now you go and put it into flower mode. You turn off your light, 12 hours off and 12 hours on. And usually it takes anywhere from 60 to 80 days to flower a plant, any plant. You know, it depends on what the strain is. Some are a little faster, some take a little longer. So, you know, you could be vegging for 1 month and then flowering for 2 to 3 months. And when it's time to harvest, you know, you gotta have a separate room that is temperature controlled and humidity controlled at certain levels. You know, every grower is gonna, you know, dry and cure their way. So some might say dry and 50 humidities. Some people might say 70% humidity. It's just whatever your style is. There's different ways to dry and stuff like that. So I can't really give you that, you know, specific of what I do.
Recipe.
Well, not my recipe, but it's just, you know, it's overall, a lot of people dry differently, you know? So yeah. I dry a certain way, but you see, like I had tried different ways. Like I have gone and read a whole bunch of forums and, you know, like I tried this way of, you know, to do it. It didn't work out for me. So it worked out for them, but it didn't work out for me. Mm-hmm. So it depends also on your temperatures of your room and all that, you know, is very, very difficult because, you know, you're growing for 3 or 4 months and you're harvesting, and then all of a sudden your weed smells like shit, it tastes like shit, so it's non-sellable. So you just wasted 4 months of electricity. So, you know, over here I pay $2,000 something every month of electricity. So, you know, you spend like $8,000 on electricity. You spend your time to, you know, to kiss it all goodbye, because basically, you know.
So it's almost like weed gambling at this point. It's like cannabis gamble.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of people do not last, because a lot of people be like, you know, I failed, and then they just, you know, they stop doing it, and then, you know, they don't pursue it. You know, like I have stuck to it, and now, you know, thank God that now I'm making money off of it, so I could keep supporting, you know, the hobby, you know, basically, in the business.
So give me some of your, like, I'm gonna say 5 or 3 of the best strains that you've ever had.
Well, I'll tell you, I grew this year. The top ones that did in my garden this year will be Scooby Snacks, GG4, which is Gorilla Glue 4.
Ooh.
I had some glazed cherry, which did very well. Man, what else, man? I had like 15 strains, and I can't think about.
All right, so for dum-dums like me, because
Okay.
you know, I'm a weird balance of like I am too much for some people and not enough for others. I'm on this side of the not enough for others. What does that all mean? Because I remember back in the day where it was like Kush and sour and let's be done with this. And now there's so many names and numbers and tag titles and series. I feel like I'm scanning things at this point. Like, where do you go with this?
That's something, that's a different type of, basically that's another story. That's already like, wow, that's already like when you're breeding, you're crossing breeds, like different strains. Like, I'll give you an example.
Like dog breeding, like now you have a Labradoodle.
Exactly, just like that. But in the weed world, it's like, I'll give you an example. Scooby Snacks, the one that I grew in this year in my garden, Scooby Snack. That's a cross from Dog Walker and Cookies. So they cross the two strains together, Dog Walker and Cookies. Those are separate strains, and they cross them together.
I don't know which either are, so imagine me knowing a hybrid of it.
How do they come up with the names?
They made a hybrid off of two different strains.
Yeah,
So
like how do they come up with the names? Like how does this like evolve? Because apparently everybody's on the same lingo. Everybody gets it. They just know. And I just
That's the best way to walk your dog. That's why.
like,
well, basically, do put it together. One strain is called Dog Walker, and the other strain is called Cookies.
So Scooby Snacks.
Snacks. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of blending the dog with the cookies, you know. And they
okay,
came
but
out
how do you get Dog Walker? Like, is it when you're walking a dog, you walk extra slow, or is it like, oh, this one makes me crave a cookie? Like,
it also depends. Also, I mean, let's say if I'm the grower and I created the strain and I want to call it Torres because my name is Torres.
Yeah.
It's gone with it like that. You know what I mean?
oh, so it's creative writing for potheads.
Exactly. It's just it's carried on like that so much that now that every time they breed this one with that one, they have to come up with a name. And I know what you mean. Before it was Hydro, Kush, or Sour. Now it's like you can't even make up your mind. You go to a dispensary,
Fruity Pebbles, bubblegum, yummy, Gorilla 456G to go. COVID-19.
Yeah, and then you got different phenols. Because you got Gorilla Glue 4, Gorilla Glue 12, Gorilla Glue. It's like so many of them. You got different numbers, and it was different phenols. That's already a different ball game.
That Red Dragon. That is the one that
Craze, you like Dragon?
One that I was on for a bit,
Yeah, that was fire, man. I
So,
like the
okay,
Dragon.
so for somebody like who's basic, like what would be, and this is gonna sound really stupid, the closest comparison to like what is a Kush, what is a sour, like. I know this has evolved into a multi-mutant power thing, but like, what is the basics of this?
You can't really compare. I mean, if you're a smoker, like a heavy smoker, you'll know what's what. So you can't really compare. I mean, you could compare in like maybe in a way of they both taste in the sweet side, or these three taste more on the gassy side. You could compare them maybe like that.
it's wine. It's like wine. Like wine.
Like wine. You got a whole bunch of red wines, and one might be a little drier than the other one. Just like weed. Weed one might be a little bit more on the pungy side. One might be on the gassy side.
Comparing it to wine.
Sweeter. You got sativa, you got indica, so it depends on what you like too. Do you like the uplifting kind, or do you like to be smacked? So it depends on that. That you could pick on what you want. If you want to, be an energetic high, or you just want to, sit on the couch and just watch mad movies. You know what I mean?
No, and I know that that Loud City is only available on the West Coast right now, what's the availability for it out there? You know, like where if I wanted to go, I'm in Oregon.
Right now, I'm in the middle of making sales from my garden, so soon we will have it on, on the site, with all the dispensaries where you could get your Loud City Farms.
That's cool.
Yes, we'll have that. Yeah.
So, what advice would you give someone that's trying to get into the cannabis industry?
Wow, man, they're gonna go for a ride, man. you gotta be, wow, you gotta be strong in this, man. I mean, if you're a person that cannot, do mistakes and you don't take mistakes, good. I mean, this is not the business for you. I mean, you're gonna run into problems. You're gonna do mistakes yourself. I mean, the best thing I would say, if you're gonna get into this, like somebody is gonna come out here and do their own business and do a grow, is to pay an experienced grower to help them at least their first year to get things up and running and teach them the basics at least. But if you're gonna do it just like that blindly, like how I did it, you're gonna run into problems and you're gonna have to accept that.
So we're at the part of the show where we play one word association. So I will say a word and you're going to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Then Craze will give you a word. Then Jaylah will give you a word. Then Benny gives you a word. My word is, my Loud City Farms was the first thing that comes to mind.
What was that?
Loud City Farms. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that?
Quality. We're all about quality all the time.
Books.
My word is Mets.
Mets? My hometown, nigga, Queens, baby. That's all I have to say. Let's not say too much about that. Right? Oh, by the way, I don't watch sports, man.
Me neither.
Jaylah.
CBD.
Medical. Definitely medical.
Benny Banks.
Nobody's gonna get high off of CBD.
Cocaine.
What you said?
Cocaine.
What?
Cocaine?
Cocaine.
Fucking Benny, bro. Fucking
Say no to drugs. Say no to drugs, man.
We're going to go around one more time. So my word is Cuba.
Cuba. Man, strong people, man. People that have been through it all.
Crazy Boogie.
Cuban food.
what?
The best. I eat it every day because wifey knows how to cook.
That's what I was asking you because I wasn't really sure if you had access to that shit out there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, at home, but not over here. I mean, you'll have a Cuban restaurant with, with a white boy in the back cooking. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't gonna be Cuban food, bro.
Jaylah.
Next
Just
step.
the name.
What you
was
said?
that?
Mine was next steps.
Next steps will be to reach to the East Coast. I would like to branch out. But, I heard New Jersey is being a little more flexible about it, and they're putting the whole thing in to see what they go about it. But let's see what happens. Hopefully we get Loud City Farms in the East Coast.
Benny.
What up? Hairbrush.
Brush. I recently just did my dreads, so that's a new journey I just got myself into.
That's a fucking
That's
bro.
exactly what I wanted to know.
Now, for our last segment, I wanted to ask you, can we bring Susie in on the shot? Is she all right?
Definitely. Yo, Ma, come over here.
Definitely not coming in the shop, but yeah. Come on, Sue. We need another girl in here.
So
They need to go here.
Nah.
I'll say the phrase. This is La Cartas contra Torres. So basically, we're copying off a game, right? You're giving cards. I make a statement, and there's a blank piece. You got to fill in that blank piece. Same thing as like one word association. That's why I wanted to bring Susie in also, so she could do it with us. But the first one says, "I got 99 problems, but a blank ain't one." What's the blank?
Wait, we gotta wait for Susie though. Susie's coming.
My bitch is at.
Hi, Susie.
Hey! What's up, guys?
Oh, yeah.
I got 99 problems, but a blank ain't one. Susie, what's your statement?
My boo ain't one. My farm ain't one. My kid ain't one.
Yes.
All right. What's my secret power?
What's my secret power?
Yeah.
You're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
That's you guys. You
Both of
are
you.
the only ones answering right now.
We're the secret power, bro.
Wow. As a couple, as individuals. I mean, how you asking me?
Individual.
Individuals, my secret power, I would say, or my skills would be, I'm a grower. Nah, you can't really say that. You know, a lot of people can't say that.
Susie, what's your secret power?
I wish I could grow. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. It's too much. I don't have the patience. Shout out to all the growers out there.
What never fails to liven up a party?
Weed. Man, free weed, you're making a lot of friends, man.
I guess this is
Every party with you.
Susie, what never fails to liven up a party? You agree with that?
Good people. You need good people to smoke good weed. So
Yes.
Okay. What will always get you laid?
Weed.
no.
Yo, these are easy questions, bro. Yeah. You're making it too easy, man.
And I'm gonna have to think about this.
Susie?
Yeah, weed.
And what's that smell?
Weed.
That loud.
I appreciate it.
That loud.
I want to thank Torres for being on the show. I want to thank Susie for being on the show. Loud City Farms, their cannabis business. That's their brand. That's their logo. That's their label.
Yo, and keep being out there, especially like taking that risk, going from what you knew out here in the East Coast, going to the West Coast, breaking barriers, breaking generational cycles, and what we are culturally as Latinos. I know it is a huge kind of shadow about what you do and how you're making money and how you're providing for your family. So what you guys are doing and breaking those cycles and educating and talking about it and showing that it can be growth, it could be for the better, and having your whole family united in this is a huge step culturally for all of us. So thanks for that.
Yo, and during this COVID crisis that we're going through, for providing the masses of fucking high quality product that they can fucking do and be chill and not be out island. You feel me? Like I appreciate
Has the COVID
home care
affected you guys?
packages.
Yo, you guys are the heroes too, bro.
Oh, they're essential workers.
Essential workers.
That's not essential.
You know, they're not closing the dispensaries out here.
No, it's like the liquor stores in New York, essentially needed.
Two businesses
Oh yeah,
are
that's
thriving
exactly
at
how
this
they're treating
point.
it out here too.
Is liquor stores and dispensaries.
Yeah.
It helps you
Manufacturers.
and Craze with his hookah. So I want to thank Susie again for coming on, even though she didn't want to come on.
I was cooking, guys. I'm literally cooking. You guys caught me in the action.
Benny,
It's
you got
5
something
o'clock
to say?
over here.
No, Benny don't got nothing to say.
Now we know season 6.
Season 6.
The travel season. We're going to Oregon, y'all.
Definitely, you guys are definitely invited. Whenever you guys want, you're more than welcome. Mi casas tu casas. You
All
already
right.
know.
Thank you for coming on. We'll see you guys not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So if you got that statement, next Tuesday is the 28th. We're skipping a Tuesday. We're off. I'm giving everybody a vacation.
How are we taking a vacation during vacation?
Well, it's my father-in-law's birthday on April 28th. So
Ah, bueno. Ya.
We're gonna take
Don't
next
use
Tuesday off.
vacation time as an excuse, my friend. When it's a family obligation, don't play yourself trying to use.
oh, for me. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I haven't seen my family. I see my brother on the show, and I see my family through FaceTime. And my wife, my in-laws live close by. We haven't seen them in like 4 weeks, so I'm looking forward to it.
Family time is good, especially during these
I
times.
think
Hell yeah,
everybody's
it's tough, man.
With pregnant wifey.
It's tough, man.
Yo, go take walks and shit, bro. Stay healthy.
Stay
I'm
healthy.
healthy. Look, Benny, for you.
Bro, I feel like you're doing like 50 pounds.
We'll
on
see
your-
you
on
when
your
we
couch.
get back, man. See you.
Look,
all.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you all, man. Keep rocking the show, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got it.